So I was watching my good friend Tim Tabadibidabido's video the other day about his mock meet, and something struck me fairly odd about his spotter, and it's weird. I don't normally pay attention to spotters, but in this case, I did. I couldn't place where I knew him. It really racked my brain, and then this happened. It looks as if he's trying to suck his soul out. And then, my friends, and then it hit me. But then it occurred to me that I might just be racist and think all Asian people look the same. Kind of like that one Family Guy episode.
Yes, and we should do nothing to draw attention to ourselves as outsiders. Oh my God, it's Jackie Chan! Oh my God, it's Jackie Chan!
So starting off the week on a Monday with a strength deadlift day, called for a 3x3 a deadlift. You can see the other things that we'll be covering. Try to focus on that and not that ass. Just got to get this filler clip in. Filler clip and talking about my ass, that is not good. As I show you exactly what I'm going to do. So one of the things I've allowed myself to do on the strength days on this particular program is push the number. So it called for a 3x3 at 495, which is a percentage based off of a lowered percentage working max. However, I really wanted to start pushing some heavier weights just because honestly just felt like it. So here you see the first set of 495, again for a triple. Now on this particular day, the weights were feeling extremely heavy, and after this first set, I really considered just doing 495 for a 3x3. But one of the things that I've really been struggling with and trying to do better about my own programming is push myself. So even though it didn't really feel like a good day to go heavier, I decided to anyways, which foreshadowing could mean epic fails. But the next set I did five, little Bob of Waltz is going on, 545 for a set of 3. And again, these moved really slow. But of course I decided to jump the weight up even higher. So 585. Now on these, I will pepper thy Angus and tell you that these are very ugly. These are probably the grimiest grinders I've had in a very long time, especially from this angle. However, I'm okay with my lower back. I do have a lot of upper back rounding, but this hasn't been a problem for me in all of my decades of lifting. And again, these go really slow. It's not as smooth as I'd like, and it's not as pretty as I'd like. But watching it on film, they go a lot quicker than they felt. So these felt so slow, especially right here. And you can actually see me putting some effort into my lifting, as many of you guys have noted in the past that I don't really show any expression. Trust me, those kicked my ass really bad. Those literally wiped me out. From there, I moved on to alternate stance deadlift. So traditionally, if I were to pull sumo first, these would be done conventional. But since I pull conventional, I decided to throw in some assistance for sumo. I just did 4 sets of 5 with 315. I hate sumo deadlifts, even though this is how initially I learned and this is how I pulled for a long time. I just don't like them. I'm using straps for all these sets too, just because after all that work with the heavy weights, my calluses were kind of bothering me, and it doesn't really matter at that point for me because it's more of assistance work. From there, we moved on to some flat shoe squats, and again, this is something I've been throwing in as an assistance exercise, as an alternate to just straight up back squats with my ollie shoes on. I'm playing around with these a little bit, trying to get a little bit better at flat shoes. You can also see those glorious socks I'm wearing. So Curse de les Boulets might be done and over with. And if you're from the Washington, D.C. area, you should know what that is a reference to. But some flat shoe squats. I ended up doing several sets of this, a 5x3, and I believe I show you all of my sets on this, if not most of them. But basically went 315, 365, 405, 455. So that's only 4 sets, so that means that I did forget to throw a set in here. I think I did 225 first, just to kind of test the waters. But all of these went okay. Playing around with this, even though on some of these lighter sets for me, I wore a belt, where traditionally if this was my main back squat day, I wouldn't. But again, given that we already did deadlifts before this and heavy deadlifts at that, my lower back was feeling a little bit warmed up already. So I wanted to go ahead and just strap on the belt because I didn't want to potentially risk getting hurt. Wasn't really sure what I'd be able to work up to. But as I said, ended up going all the way up to 455. So this is great for me, again, considering the work that we've already done to this point. So I'm really starting to get more accustomed to doing squats after deadlifts. This is something I used to do a lot in the past, but it does take quite a while to get used to. So if you're looking at a powerlifting program or a strength-based training program and you see a day where it says squats and deadlifts and you try it once or twice and you find that it kicks your ass, Trust me, that is completely normal. It does take quite a while to get accustomed to this, several weeks in most cases. But I think once you do get accustomed to it, you'll see some tremendous progress, or at least I know I have. From there, because I was already so beat up from all the deadlifts and then the squats on top of that, I just did some chin-ups, and I forgot my weight belt in the car, so I was going to do weighted chin-ups, but instead just did 4 sets of 10, and things went pretty well, and that's going to wrap up the day. So that brings us to Tuesday, January 20th, and this day was a clusterfuck for me. It was really busy. I had a lot of training presentations to give at work. I got out a little bit later, and as you guys know, I work an hour away, so I got home fairly late, and on top of that, I had some other stuff to do that particular night, so I didn't think I was even going to get to the gym. I just didn't think there was going to be enough time, although I love the gym I go to. It's only open till I think like 8 o'clock at night or so I didn't think I'd be able to train. I did, however, manage to get it in. Get it in. That's always good. With a 6x2 of speed deadlifts at 225. So I did use a pause on these just because I really want to work on that. So what I'm trying to do is really make sure I engage my lats and also a leg drive here. So you see a lot of air humps going on, which has a lot of good carryover to the bedroom as well. But really trying to just make sure I'm explosive when I do this pressing, as I have a problem doing that. And that's one of the reasons I do like speed work too. It just really helps me reinforce moving the weight faster overall and try to emulate that on my heavier sets as well. From there, moved on to floor presses. This is something I'm trying to get better at because honestly I suck at it quite a bit. I'm showing you my first set here, which is 225. Overall, I ended up doing 4 sets when it was all said and done for 8 reps each. Again, I really wanted to get these in because I haven't really had a chance to the first couple of weeks of this programming, but I did it last 12 weeks, and I really liked it, and I saw a lot of gains in my bench, so I want to make sure I implement this as well. From there, I jumped up to 245, then 265, and finally my last set, or 4th set in this case, of 275. In this case, too, you can actually see I'm wearing the SBD stiff wrist wrap, so they sent me both the flexible and stiff. I didn't expect to get these in this soon, so I know the other video for this particular meet prep, I mentioned I was going to do a review on the flexible versions and the gangster wraps. Now I'm going to push that back just a little bit so that I can get some time using the stiff ones. Just my first basic impressions, which might carry over to my main overall review. The flexible ones are alright. I prefer the gangsters. The stiff ones I do not like. They're way too stiff. They hurt my dainty little wrists and my hands, but maybe I just need to be broken in a little bit more. From there, we moved on to 3 sets of 10 of 100-pound dumbbell incline bench press just to get this done. Again, I was running short on time, so after these sets and only 3 exercises, call it a day, and I got to my other stuff I had to do that night, which was more important. Alright, so before I ended the video, I want to go ahead and show you guys some stuff that I have been eating that I got sent in the mail, and that sounds really interesting to show you. I'm also going to pull up the website itself from the company. Now, oftentimes I get a lot of stuff sent to me. It's one of the perks of having a moderately successful YouTube channel, and it's interesting always because I don't give a lot of positive reviews, as you guys are probably more than well aware of. But anyways, I got some stuff sent to me. I always post it on Instagram, usually things I get sent in the mail, just because not everything ends up on YouTube, sometimes because I just don't want to be associated with some of those products, or in some cases because I plan on doing a review, but the review is going to be overly negative, and I tell the company, I'm like, hey, I appreciate you sending this. I wasn't a big fan of it. Do you still want me to go ahead with this review? And they will oftentimes say, don't post it, thanks. So I give them the option most of the time because I do appreciate getting sent stuff for free. Now, that being said, Matt from Uncomplicated Foods reached out to me and said, hey, Brandon, we have some food products we'd like to send you. Great news there. Soy-free, vegan-free, paleo diet approved. No GMOs, no sugar added. And I said, Matt, thank you. I appreciate the offer, but knowing my audience and knowing some of the things you just said, I don't imagine it's going to go over very well. Meaning that you guys would flame me, flame the company, as I'm sure. We have a tendency to make fun of some of these terms. I know I have videos talking about paleo diet and things of that nature already. But that being said, he wrote back and said, you know what, I don't really care. We're just really trying to get the word out on our products. We really think it's a good product. Just want to send you some to taste it. If you do a review, great. If not, no big deal. So the other day, it did finally come in the mail. So again, there is the actual Uncomplicated Foods website. And here is what I got. So they sent me 4 different things. Let's see if I can get them in focus a little bit. This kind of on-the-go thing. Some double the coconut, thing called a hint of almond, something called almond cocoa nibs. And these are the bites they have. And you can see here that I still have the double the coconut ones left. I ate the other 2. and then one of their Paleo bars as well. So I gotta say, and it'll say right on the actual label itself all the things they are, as I already mentioned. I have to say that these were actually really, really good, and I was surprised. I wasn't expecting them to have much flavor, much taste, but they were really good. In fact, I ate those 2 bags right before filming this. I'm saving the other 2 only because right now I'm actually not sure what the macros are on these. They don't say anything on the label, which is interesting, and I couldn't actually find it on the website either, so I don't want to necessarily go over all my macros this early in the day. These things, while they're tasting great, they're not very filling. They're a great snack. So I would highly recommend them if you're looking for something in that vein or just good tasting snacks. And the reason I'm a little bit hesitant is because looking at the website and looking at some of the things that are on here, and by the way, you can see that I'm actually in the process of editing this video that you're more than likely just finishing right now. The problem is these are really expensive in my opinion. So the bites are $4.75 for a bag, and as you can tell, they're not very big. Not saying that sometimes good things don't come in small packages. Story of my life. And the bars, which are also fairly small, as you can see, am I in them callus gains? This is because of those 585 deadlifts you probably just watched. The bars are $3.75, so very expensive. I'm assuming it's more because they're still a smaller company and they don't have their costs down for them themselves. But again, it's very tasty. They have some gift bags options available too, I think for like 25 bucks. I'm going to link them in the description box. I don't have a discount code, not affiliated with them. These are really good. However, they're really expensive. So if you're interested in this kind of thing, check them out. If not, then I don't imagine you'd check them out. As always, thanks for watching. In the meantime, stay big.